Just in case you've never seen it before, this is Inoreader. In my Inoreader strategy, I use Inoreader to oversubscribe to news feeds that relate to my brand and to my keywords. And then I skim the content for the best content that's available on a daily basis. But what I wanted to point out was that in this particular workflow, that Inoreader not only gives me everything that I need to track the sites, the searches, the sources, and the someday maybe information that feeds my expertise, my brand, but it also allows me to quickly and easily share it in other ways. And I'm just going to touch the surface on this. So I talked about in my methodology, with every great article that I come up against, I have a couple of different options. One is simply to go on to the next article. I can read an article, or I can read and share an article. So let's take a look at this one, for example. This article from Search Engine Land, which is a trusted source in my world, looks interesting to me. So one of the things that I can do is I can make this content. If I click on this coffee cup icon, what it does is it brings the entire article to me so that I can read it here in my feed reader without ever having to go to the site. And if all I wanted to do was to share this to Twitter, it would be as simple as this. I could click on this star icon or press the F button, and that would trigger a recipe in If This Then That that says if there is a new starred article in Inoreader by me, then send this to buffer, the article title, the URL, along with the hashtag recommended reading. It's that easy. So all I have to do if I want to share an article in Twitter is to use that recipe and click the star icon. But what if I come up against this article and say, wow, this is really, really good. So for really, really good sharing, what I would do is I would press V for view, and I would use a tool called Friends+Me, which has magical powers for Google+, which is the most important social network in which I share. So what I could do here is I could highlight this paragraph, and I could capture the content with Friends+Me. And I could simply share this to my, to my Google Plus page. And I could click the button and it would be gone. Of course, I would want to add appropriate hashtags, so forth and so on. If, however, I wanted to turn this into a blog post, I could give it a little bit better treatment, and I could put in a title, I might want to come in and write a little bit more like you get the idea. And of course, I want to check for spelling. And if I wanted this to go to my blog, all I would have to do is to go to the very end, and actually anywhere in here, just put in the hashtag blog. Okay? So if I do that and click Add to Queue, and I go to my WordPress site, ultimately what would happen is that at the appointed time, this post would be sucked into my blog as a blog post. Now, I also said that in the post above, that one of the things that I do as well is to take everything that I publish and send it to Twitter. So whether it shows up in WordPress, whether it shows up in Google+, I use Friends+Me again to repost to default destinations so that everything that gets posted to my Google Plus page is automatically posted to a collection called Recommended Reading, my Google Plus community for my customers, my Twitter account, and my Facebook page. And everything that is then collected by my Twitter account goes to my website, to a page called What I Read, and here a free tool called Rebel Mouse collects everything and puts it on my website, making my site a little bit more interesting for those who come. Does this make sense? I hope so. If you have questions or feedback, please comment in the post below. And thanks always for your attention.